All right, let us know if you knew the reason behind daylight savings time and if that was a government or a government versus the sun crop. I mean, we have no idea here, huh? Oh my God.
It's definitely the sun speeding up twice a year.
Welcome back to the walkthrough, where we walk you through this week's trending topics in real estate. I am your moderator and co-host, Dan Oneil. It is March 1st. It's wedding season, folks. I have 3 weddings in the next 10 days. I'm getting to the age where getting wedding invitation feels like I'm getting bills in the mail. And speaking of weddings, I am joined today, as always, by my co-host, standing at 7 feet 4 inches, 7 days away from his big day. He is tanned. He is microbladed. The groom, the birthday boy, Mr. Eric Simon, a.k.a. the broke agent. Happy birthday. How are you today, buddy?
I'm great, Dan. We are 8 days away from the big day for my wedding. And I am getting another facial tonight at 5:30, actually. The final facial. I am getting a Dermaglow or a Dermaplane or something. I don't know exactly what that means, but they're going to lube up my face. I'm going to be absolutely glowing on Saturday. So I'm pumped.
I'm excited to hear that. I've been scouring your wedding registry for the last month. I've gotten you 15 knife sets, 16 boards, and a 29-foot Japanese maple tree sent to your apartment. So
oh my God. We're getting so many packages. Please just get me a tailor-made 5-wood. That's all I want. Don't get me any of the stuff that Ann put on the registry because I don't want any of that. I just keep getting planks of wood. That's all I get.
Well, I'm going to take a plank of wood and smash it over your head.
I'll smash it over your face.
Bro, Eric alike here. Wish him luck on his big day. Hopefully he doesn't get a pimple or any blemishes on his face. And also wish him a happy birthday. I love the happy
in the comments. There we go.
All right. We also are joined by returning guest, the massive agent yielding the biggest biceps in real estate, Mr. Dustin Brome. Dustin, how are you today?
Great, man. Great to be here.
Thank you for joining us. And for the first time ever, super excited to have on the show. She's absolutely crushing the content game and selling an incredible amount of real estate in what looks like the DMV area. How are you today, Miss Lindsey Joe?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be here and represent for the ladies. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And shout out to Michelle, too. She is my YPN buddy and babysitter every year in Chicago. So shout out to Michelle. Today, we are talking March content ideas, breaking down Meta's Facebook report, talking the death of family teams and much, much more.
The Death of the Nuclear Family by Byron Lazine.
But before we do, Eric, would you mind taking out your Invisalign and sharing a word from our sponsors?
I would love to, Dan.
Thank you.
Let me take out my Invisalign real quick. The Walkthrough podcast is presented by Keeping Current Matters, your go-to source for the insights and content you need to be the market expert. KCM is the best in the biz at taking the latest housing data and curating it into powerful visuals and marketing content for video and social media that helps you look great and gives you an enormous, tons of value to your clients and prospects. At a time when the market's changing and shifting and consumers are asking questions most agents don't know the answer to, KCM makes it easy to build your brand as the market expert. Try kcm.com/BAM so you can master the market and your marketing today. And of course, as always, there is a fat link down in the description that you could click away. Try this for free immediately. Why wouldn't you?
All right, great ad read, Eric, although you were frozen. Topic number 1, let's get right into it. From Social Media Today, titled Widely Viewed Content Report Highlights Top Content Trends on Facebook. Meta has released the latest version of its widely viewed content report, that might be subjective, which aims to dispel the notion that Facebook's algorithm favors diverse, argumentative, political content, with the actual data showing that with the majority of Facebook users actually seeing their feeds is far more mundane. My God, who writes these things? They're like tongue twisters.
Can we dumb this down? What does that mean?
Yes, I will do that for you. Yeah, I would love to do that. The article will be in the show notes, but to highlight, it suggests the top landing pages on Facebook were YouTube, TikTok, and GoFundMe. In terms of the most widely viewed Facebook pages were Lad Bible, Unilad, and Kitchen Fun with My 3 Sons. No effing clue what the last one is, and that sounds a bit inappropriate, but the bottom line is that the memes and nostalgia work It's not always an easy formula to get right, but what's getting the most traction outside of celebrity gossip, and this is great news for Eric, is that he will still be in the business because the top posts are a cross section of light, jokey posts and simple memes. So if you are a professional, I would avoid talking politics on social like the plague. And I'm not sure about you guys, but my Facebook feed is just riddled with just listeds and just solds and an engagement photo here and there. But I digress. Eric, I will start with you. What did you think of the report, and what should agents be posting on Facebook?
I like that intro, Dan. It kind of sounded like I was in 5th grade and someone was reading for the very first time right there, kind of chopping his way through it, very robotic. But here's what I took away from it. The diverse arguments about political disagreements not happening as much on Facebook. In fact, Zuckerberg tried to almost get rid of it completely. So that's obviously being suppressed. And what's getting the most traction is light, humorous content. So this is huge for the BA, huge for BAM, huge for brands, huge for Lindsey, huge for Dan, sometimes for Massive Agent. Massive Agent does funny posts all the time, actually. Actually, some of your best posts are your funny posts. But that's what's getting the most.
Was that a chirp? Was it?
No.
Were you like remake? Oh, okay.
Not a chirp at all. He gets
started as a chirp.
It did start as a chirp, and then I digressed.
It evolved.
And then it also weirdly said that video content is doing well even if it's not posted natively. I find this very hard to believe because every time I share a YouTube link or a link to an Instagram or a link to an actual article, it gets no engagement whatsoever. What I've been doing to combat that is I've been posting long Facebook statuses like it's back in 2011. I'm going on the Broke Agent page and I'm posting a long status, 3 paragraphs long, and including the link at the bottom. But I'm getting rid of the thumbnail because that thumbnail entices people to click on that link, right? But if they actually read the entire thing, then they're more likely to click on that link. So that's what's doing really well for me is these long paragraphs that kind of explain what I'm doing. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, the YouTube links, anytime I share the walkthrough, for example, or if I share a video from Instagram that I did and I put it on my Facebook, it gets little to no engagement. It's infuriating. But to the article, posting politics as an agent or even a professional is just
Dumb.
not the move. Lindsey, what did you think of the article, and how are you going about posting on Facebook? What's working for you?
So I'm not really on Facebook. Honestly, I've really just gone heavy into Instagram, but I know just from listening to you guys that it's not wise to have all of your eggs in one basket because in an instant, your Instagram can be taken away and then you have nothing. So I really need to be better about, utilizing Facebook a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, light, humorous content, it makes sense. That's what's always going to get the engagement. So.
Dustin, my friend, the Massive Agent Society. How, right? That's right?
Yeah, that's my coaching group. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your okay. So I got it right. Why are you laughing, Eric? I got it right. Massive Agent Society, right?
Hey, put the sword away for 2 seconds, all right?
Okay,
we want to hear what Massive Agent has to say.
I think it's a hell of a reminder of why people are going on social in the first place, which a lot of us forget. A lot of content creators forget why people are there. They don't go to social media to learn something new about the home buying process. Now, that may happen once they're there if you can deliver it in like an entertaining, interesting way. But they're going there to escape. They're going there to like unwind at the end of the day or to kill time when they're on the pot. They're scrolling to laugh. That's why People Magazine and TMZ and all these other ridiculous URLs are like the top sites shared on Facebook. That's what people go there for, is to escape and to be entertained and have fun. So if you can learn how to do that for your ideal audience, emphasis on your ideal audience,
right?
Reminds me of the whole contagion of agents posting for other agents instead of their actual fucking local communities.
Right.
If you know who you're posting for, and you can make it entertaining, you're going to do well. So just remember why people are there in the first place, for God's sakes.
Dustin, that's brilliant. I mean, that it really is. That take that people are not there to consume links and consume YouTube videos about the home buying process or even the walkthrough necessarily. Like, I have 170,000 likes on the Broke Agent Facebook page. When I post a link to the walkthrough or to over ask, it gets like 1 like, and it's Dan. Or it's me.
Yeah.
It's all my burner accounts.
Or it's my dog's account. Exactly.
Yeah.
So totally agree with you. That's why these like engagement grab posts do so well. So the one in the article
Yeah.
mentioned, it said like, age yourself with a store that no longer exists, right? And then everybody in the comment will say something like, oh, I used to go to Blockbuster when I was 9 and rent Pokemon Snap or Pokemon Go or something. Those types of posts crush, and they've always crushed in Facebook groups, especially from a real estate Facebook group perspective. Just like, describe your real estate business in 5 words, or what are 3 things you wish you knew before you got your real estate license? Like, those type of trash posts absolutely murder on Facebook. And I do recommend doing them because they are engagement grabs, but they do kind of juice the algorithm for when you want to do other stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, for me specifically, I'm not really looking for likes and comments anymore on Facebook. Like back in the day, I would post every sale. I'd post like a whole long story, right? Like a picture of me and the clients, and it would do numbies, right? It would do like great. Now I kind of just I'm using it to just remind people that I am still in the business. I'm still selling a incredible, enormous amount of real estate. So I'm more so just posting on Facebook as reminders. But Facebook is a really good platform to grow your audience and to continue to grow your sphere of influence. So I think it's something that is slept on. And what were you going to say? You're about to chirp me. What?
I'm not going to chirp you. Actually, I'm going to give something extremely tactical to the audience.
Okay.
If I may.
Yeah, you may. Yes.
Uploading organically Facebook Reels, murdering.
Yes.
Absolutely murdering. Dan from Florida. You know who he is?
Yeah, he's always next to he's always at a pool.
He's always at a pool. Exactly.
Yeah.
So he sent me literally this morning, right before this, that his Instagram reel, I think, got 2,000 views. He uploaded the same reel to Facebook organically, and it got like 14,000 or something. So don't sleep on uploading your reels organically to Facebook. The cross promo,
yes,
may not be the move.
Shout out to Dan McKinnon of Sarasota, Florida. That's his last name.
Yes, I knew that.
So, Eric, you're talking about, rather than just clicking the button in your Instagram settings that automatically post to Reels, you're literally going to Facebook and uploading it natively.
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing it. I should be doing it, but Dan was doing it. And anybody that says it, that's doing it, is getting results from it. So download the videos to your phone before you even post it to Instagram. So while it's in your draft, download it straight to your phone so you have it on your camera roll. And then a couple minutes after you post to Instagram, upload it organically, because anytime you do anything as the app was intended, it usually performs better. Yes, Dan.
Question for you, Eric, Mr. Wiseman here. Professor.
Call me Dr. Stick.
Okay,
Dr. Clickstein.
Dr. Clickstein, I mean.
My question for you is, do you think, so I just posted a video right on Instagram, did very well. I always am in my own head about posting. Well, if I just posted this video on YouTube, I'm not talking about sharing, just saving the video and posting to Facebook. Do you find that sharing the video at the same exact time could hurt engagement on both platforms? Because what happens if some of the people that are commenting on my Instagram are the ones that are seeing it on Facebook? So would you suggest maybe waiting a day to post the video, or just doing it at the same time?
I have 2 thought processes behind this. One, if I post something to Facebook to test the content and a bunch of people see it on Facebook, they're probably not going to engage with it on Instagram since they already engaged with it on Facebook.
Right.
But the way these algorithms work, whenever I'm watching a TikTok, I'll see that same TikTok now on Instagram. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but if I'm watching a golf TikTok, it will pop up on my Instagram. So it's almost like they're feeding into each other. I don't know what the smirk is for, Dan, but so my point is, it doesn't really matter. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
All right. Any final thoughts here on the Facebook Meta report? Are you guys ready to move on to topic number 2?
Lindsey, get on Facebook. Don't sleep on it.
All right. I'm on it.
Especially with Meta Verified coming out, because our Facebook pages are going to be verified. Our Instagrams are going to be verified. They're going to be talking to each other. You can do more ads. Yes. We're going to get more engagement. It's going to be sick. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. On to topic number 2. Throw us a like here. Throw us a comment. Make sure to wish Eric a happy birthday. Let us know what's working for you on Facebook. All right. Article number 2. And Cooper, if you can put the thumbnail here on the screen, I would love that more than anything. And if you're listening, you might have to watch to see this thumbnail because it is insane. March content ideas for agents, written by BAM staff, whatever.
It's written by me.
Yeah, written by you, which is even worse. Can we please get a picture of the thumbnail on the screen?
Please.
I'm begging Cooper, of Eric in his birthday hat with his hands in the most awkward position ever. All right, well, while Cooper gets it on the screen, some notable events and dates here in March that we can all use for content. March 3rd, today, is Eric's birthday. March 12th.
Tomorrow.
Shh.
This comes out today. Today is Thursday.
Yes.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Right. I knew that. I'm just
okay.
Here's the thumbnail.
Oh,
look at this thumbnail. That is insane. Zoom in on this guy. What in the world? Who made that picture? And whoever photoshopped that, whoever photoshopped that is not your friend.
It's brilliant though. It's a visual hook.
It's a visual hook. It looks like I'm about to get peed on by a bunch of individuals if I had to describe what it looks like is going on. Like, hey,
You have like unusually large hands. Has anyone ever told you that?
They have actually, yes. But I think this is definitely the angle here. And obviously this incorporates everything that is happening in March. We have the clovers, right? Or whatever those are called for the Luck of the
I didn't
Irish for
notice
St.
that.
Patty's Day. We have the birthday hat for my birthday. We have Baby Yoda, aka Grogu, for the Mandalorian, which came out yesterday, and it's March Madness. So what we're trying to do here with these content March idea blogs is try to, get the brain working for agents so they can start planning out their content calendars. So Dan, if I may, before we get into reading, what we have planned, I want to talk to Lindsey and see what she has planned for her March content. If you're doing anything around the holidays, St. Patty's Day, March Madness, what are you doing on social this month?
So I am posting a pretty epic video of me in a mullet. So that's going to drop at some point in March, just kind of explaining the market that is here and how tough it is right now for everyone to get offers accepted. So that's pretty much the main thing that I have planned. I don't have anything planned around March Madness or anything like that. But
what about National Pie Day? That was one that Eric had mentioned in this article.
Don't have
March
anything
12th.
planned for that.
What about daylight savings time? That's March 12th. The Oscars. Pitchers and catchers have reported to spring training.
You're not going to do any pitchers and catchers skits, Dustin?
Cocaine Bear just came out.
Cocaine Bear. There you go.
Any of the above?
Oh, me.
Yeah.
So agents live for daylight savings time. It's like the one thing that you can count on an agent to do is let you know to spring your clocks forward or fall them back or whatever the fuck. It's just like built into every drip campaign on the planet, right?
Yeah.
So I mean that's awesome. But beyond that, I'm not doing shit for March Madness because I don't really care. But I didn't know about the Mandalorian. Didn't know about that. But maybe I'll wear some green in some of my content this month. I'll probably do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, March is and really the most obvious is it's also the beginning of the spring market for real estate. So there's plenty of content to be had. Eric, will you be doing anything for St. Patty's Day? What will you be doing for March content while you are on your honeymoon in the Philippines?
Yeah, I'll be in Bangkok. Actually, I'll be in Thailand. I'll be in Koh Samui. I'll be in some other place. I don't really know. Didn't have any say in any aspect of it.
Are you being serious? You're going to Bangkok?
I'm flying into Bangkok and then I'm going to like a couple other places.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it'll be sick.
Any good content ideas?
Yeah.
Eric, March, yes.
Yeah, I do actually. So Dustin, let me get this straight. You're going to be wearing green, and Lindsey, you're going to do a mullet. Dan, are you going to do anything?
A mullet video.
Okay.
Yeah, of course I am. I'm going to do a St. Patty's Day skit. I'm not going
to leprechaun.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I think it's also just taking what's trending in pop culture, right? Like you mentioned, we have the Oscars. Right. We mentioned some of the sporting events, right? I just took advantage of the fact that in pop culture, the show You with Penn Bagley or Badger, whatever his name is, just came out on Netflix. So I did a spoof on that. And I always find that, kind of piggybacking off of what is happening and trending in pop culture always works and always hits when doing content. So, Eric, what will you
totally
be
agree.
doing?
That was a great video, and
it was great.
And you were actually like showcasing a listing.
Yeah.
So you were killing two birds with one stone there. So I actually have some actionable ideas here for agents. March content is daylight savings. Don't just send the generic email blast. Obviously, I do have a question. Is this the last daylight savings time ever? Was that ever decided by our government?
I don't know if it got signed by the president. I know it passed the House. To end it.
Wait. Daylight savings time. That's like a government thing. I thought that was just like when the sun rises and sets. What do you mean?
Well, yeah, it's a national.
You think daylight savings time literally just means when the sun rises and sets? Like that's every day.
That's how it is in Arizona and Hawaii.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I thought like when you set your clocks back, it's because the sun.
You think the sun is choosing to like jump like an hour earlier, like it's moving faster?
I didn't think that the government was telling the sun to jump an hour faster.
How does everyone decide on March 12th?
Didn't think that. I swear to God on my life, I'm 29 years old and I thought that daylight savings time was due to like the sun.
Well, this is the sort of education I think you get at Coastal Carolina. But what it is, I think it has something to do with the crops. I honestly have no idea. It has something to do with farmers, and they get like an extra thing. But everybody universally agrees daylight savings time sucks. Drop a like or a comment if you like daylight savings time or hate daylight savings time. Here are some ideas for St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
Do a green screen, right, of all the local bars in the area. Or go to the local bars in the area and say, hey, this one's going to be sick for St. Patty's Day. Line up at this time. This one's serving green beers. This one's serving, Irish ham and eggs or whatever sort of dish is involved with this. Or do the same thing for March Madness. You could also host a bracket challenge for your clients. So that way you're collecting everybody's emails. All you have to do is go on Yahoo or ESPN.com and set up, the Dan Oneil team bracket. You could literally tattoo your infuriating house logo to every single bracket that's there. So they're constantly being reminded every time, an upset happens. Right. So, and then, Oscars, I don't know, you could do a skit maybe around, Lindsey, you could do this, a skit around how your clients should act in certain situations or how agents act in certain situations, how you have to kind of turn on your, actor, actress mode, basically. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what Dan's super unique Fiverr logo has to do with anything. Why do you have to bring his beautiful Fiverr logo into it?
You know what? That logo is from Fiverr, and that cost me $2. And that seems to be like everybody's. I have the same logo as everybody. Like I see a logo and I'm like, did I sell that?
Yeah.
Everybody's.
Derek Gregory just did, or Sean King just did a funny post on that. Also, you could do your own awards. So the Academy Awards, March 12th. We did this last year, Dan, where we did like the Broke Awards. And I was like, you get an award for not coming into the office, who wrote the least amount of offers. Obviously, you could do your own own spin on that. But yeah, those are some good March content ideas for you.
Any final thoughts, Dustin? March content related?
So the Academy Awards, was it just last year that Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock?
Slapgate.
Yes, exactly.
That was just a year ago?
That was 1 year ago. So always be looking for that viral moment, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can recreate that. I want to do that to every agent I meet. So I could super recreate that, right? It's just like somebody that you met walks in an open house and you're just.
Yeah, I think you're a year late on that trend, but back then it would have been good.
All right. Yeah. Any final thoughts other than Chris Rock smacking?
So the broke agent is one of the best trend jackers that I've seen. So like all of this March content stuff is trend jacking, right? Like what's popular at the moment, and then like how do you like jump onto that? How do you continue that? So like when the Academy Awards thing happened last year, Chris Rock got the shit smacked out of him. Was it Chris Rock? No.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Slapped
Will
Chris
Smith.
Rock. Yeah.
I'm thinking Chris Tucker, but yeah, Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And it was everywhere. It worked, right? And Eric, I don't know how you're able to do this shit so fast, but like during the Super Bowl,
seconds.
some commercial happens and boom, there's a meme on the BA account, 3 seconds later. But it works, right? Like to talk a little bit more about how being like taking advantage of something that just happened just really captures attention.
There's no better way to grow an account than capturing those moments. I did it last year during the Super Bowl too with 50 Cent when he was doing like that, upside down ab workouts or something. And I said, if this is nostalgic, you might be in the market to buy a house. Not even like a funny caption whatsoever. It got like 24,000 likes because that's what everybody's seeing in their feed. So obviously for agents, you can't, like, you're not posting memes, right? But you could still use these moments and these holidays and these events and just craft content around it, because that is what's trending. Like Dan's video, has been out for, I don't know, a couple weeks, the new season. So it's not like you had to do it the same day it releases, but same thing with The Mandalorian. If you start doing that sort of content, or maybe you're using like the Star Wars theme on your Instagram reels, like it does just help give you that extra engagement and boost. And my best days in growth in the history of the broke agent have always been through these viral content, trend jack memes. So definitely be looking for, go on Twitter and just search what's trending too. Like I get most of the stuff from Twitter. Like that meme I saw first on Twitter before I posted it to Instagram. So don't sleep on Twitter.
Eric is admitting that he steals from Twitter. All right, let us know if you knew the reason behind daylight savings time and if that was a government or a sun. Government versus the sun crop. I mean, we have no idea here, huh? Oh my God.
Definitely the sun speeding up twice a year.
Definitely do not post a generic template about daylight savings time.
Correct. Yes, that'll get no likes.
I get one email about
I'll
daylight
come for
saving.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Lindsey
I
will
bury
attack
them.
you.
I'll come for you if you post
I'll
that.
bury them in that bed of flowers that Lindsey has behind her. All right, on to topic number 3 from Inman, titled "Not a lot of clients right now. Here's what you should be doing." We are in a bit of a wonky time here as the Fed gave us the old Joel Embiid head fake, and rates are now trending back up towards the 7 mark. And with still record low inventory levels, Inman lists off a few things that we can be doing if we feel slow. Number 1, and I quote, remind yourself that every single agent, even the most successful ones, making millions of dollars every year, experience lulls in their business. Number 2, work on your business instead of in it. Number 3, plan events or create a value prop for your past, present, and future clients. Number 4, and ensure all of your socials are up to date. I would even add in here, ask for reviews, update. What are you laughing at?
Nothing. Continue.
I would even add in here, ask for reviews, update your Google My Business, do a business audit, expenses, right? Update your headshots. How many people have 30-year-old headshots? Back end work, anything that you can do to make your phone ring while also making the phone ring or picking up the phone yourself. Work inside your business, get involved in a local chamber of commerce, get your name out there. If you need to, join a team, preview listings, get a mentor, invite agents to lunch, attend networking events.
This is revolutionary. I've never heard these tactics before.
Speaking of networking and educational events, my favorite are always the Tom Ferry events. I always leave inspired and motivated. And lucky for you all, he's hitting the Southeast in 2 weeks with stops in Orlando, Atlanta, and Miami. And for all of you, though, that are in those markets, it is a great chance to soak up an enormous amount of value in just one single day. March 6th, 7th, and 8th. Link is in the description to grab your tickets. How about that for an ad read, Eric?
Beautifully done. That was fantastic.
Lindsey, what are you doing right now in this wonky time? We were talking a little bit before the show, before we went on air, about how you guys are struggling a little bit to get offers accepted. There's no inventory out there. What are you doing right now to keep your business and even your mental state at a high level when there might be a lack of clientele?
I mean, it's definitely tough for sure. I think we came out of 2020 and 2021, and it was very easy to just get the business. We invest heavily in like Zillow Premier Agent, so our phones were ringing off the hook, and we had a really high conversion rate. And then, last year we saw a decrease 71% in our incoming calls. So we went from getting 1,082 calls to like 300 and something calls. And we are still spending the same amount of money. So we really had to sit down and figure out, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to invest heavily in client events. We're going to really just kind of go back to basics. And, so we rent out like an ice skating rink, have all of our clients come. We do a Kentucky Derby party. We do a big breakfast with Santa. Like we do it really, really big though. We get it catered. We've got DJs, just really fun events that people actually want to go to, because a lot of agents do events, right? But if you don't do them well, people are not going to want to come, and they're not going to want to come back.
Are you taking some of that money that, not to interrupt you, but are you taking some of that money that maybe you were spending on Zillow and putting that towards client events and seeing a better ROI on that?
So our contract is almost up with them. So we are going to definitely reallocate for sure, because we're spending the same amount of money and we're getting like 71% less leads. So, it sucks. Yeah. Dustin, we're just trying to go back to basics.
Dustin,
I like that. Reallocate sounds so much better than they're fucking fired. Like you're canceling.
Three F-bombs from Dustin, by the way. We got the F-bomb counter over here. Tony Reale deducting points.
I'm warming up. So expect
if you're
more.
warming up, it's going to get even worse, huh?
Yeah, better. It's going to get better.
Okay.
It depends on how you look at it. Yeah. So all of that shit in the Inman article, I think, is spot on. But here's the thing. Like, there's a lot of agents freaking out right now. And the last 2 years has made agents lazy. It's been so freaking easy to sell houses because so many people were doing it. You didn't have to do anything marketing wise. You just had to put a sign in the front yard. And once you got the listing, you had a paycheck. Like, you didn't have to do shit marketing wise. So it just made agents lazy, and it messed with expectations. So now what we're seeing, agents don't know what to do. So all of that stuff's great. but it's not a negative. Like this little lull right now, if you're doing the right things, if you're putting systems in place, if you're hiring people so that once you get busy, you can continue doing the shit that got you busy, if you are building out a content machine and really like maximizing your exposure across all the socials, you're going to look back at this once you do get busy and you're going to be thankful that you took advantage. But there's a lot of agents, unfortunately, that aren't going to do these things. They're just going to spin their wheels, jumping around from tactic to tactic. Oh, Lindsey does this. Oh, Eric does this. I'll do this. And they never stay consistent. And this right now is going to kill them because they're not doing the right things. So for those that do the right things and build the right foundation, they're going to crush it. This will lead to a great year, but only if they take advantage. So it's actually a blessing for those that do those things.
You were right. You were just warming up because that was absolute fire. You came to play today, my friend. And
Always.
Lindsey, to your point, so we have, my team and I have Zillow Flex, which
Yeah.
is, a service offered by Zillow. So
Yeah.
a year ago, we were receiving close to 140 connections a month. I
Uh-huh.
just had my monthly call with our rep
Yep.
yesterday, and they've dropped us down to 45 leads. So we went from, again, we're not paying that
Yeah.
money up front,
Right.
but that's a pretty significant change.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see too, like Dustin, to your point, over 100,000 agents have already left the industry. I mean, we're only 2 months into 2023. They have not renewed their license, right? So what we're really trying to do is just, I'm kind of assuming that this year will be a wash, right? This year is going to be hopefully a break even year. Hopefully we just keep our numbers the same way and we can still do the same value. But I am trying to do activities that are going to set me up for 2024 and 2025, setting up those meetings, setting up those buyer consults, doing home evaluation reports, doing everything I possibly can to just have as many appointments, right? Whether they lead to something or not, hopefully meaning that will lead to something, in the next couple of years. Eric, what are you doing with a lack of clientele right now?
I mean, nothing.
Loving it.
I just, yeah, it's fine by me. Whatever this article says. I mean, it said one of the tactics was sit in silence for 20 minutes. So I could do that.
Sign me up.
Yeah, exactly. I guess you just sit there and you manifest things. And then another one was spend time with people you love. So again, this article, nothing revolutionary here. We've kind of heard all this stuff before, but I think it is important to read for agents to get back to basics. But I'm just saying things to say things at this point. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, and I think the getting around friends and loved ones and past clients, I think that's really just for mental, right? And just getting out there and not kind of sitting back and dwelling and reading the news and getting upset or feeling a type of way. I have a few agents that right now they're upset, right? They didn't have that rainy day fund. They weren't. We said to follow up. We said to do all these things, and they didn't, right? Because maybe they were busy or they were a little bit spoiled. I don't want to get in trouble here, but now you have to do those things. You have to be following up. You have to be circle dialing. You have to be doing the activities that we've been preaching for years. We were all just in a very fortunate and blessed place where we maybe didn't have to do them.
Yeah, I would focus on that sitting in silence for 20 minutes. I would be telling all agents on your team to just sit there and summon the leads to them. Because that's what I did for my 7 years in real estate, was basically just sit there and look at my phone and expect it to ring at some point from a friend who wanted to buy a place.
You know what I would love
Genius.
more than anything, Eric? You know what I would love more than anything?
I know what you would love more than anything.
Yeah, right. I would love to be able to have 10 minutes of just pure bliss and silence, of where I don't have you calling me. I don't have you texting me. There's no group chats going around. That's what I would love.
Oh, I would love that more than anything. If I didn't have to hear your cackle and voice in my headphones deep in my cranium every single day, probably every 5 minutes. Honestly, there isn't 5 minutes to go that we are not in communication with each other. I will pray for that. Stay the hell away from me at my wedding.
Oh, I will. Trust me. All right. And any final thoughts on the Inman article here, Dustin and Lindsey?
No.
Right.
The 20 minutes in silence, that's gold. That's what everyone's missing. Everyone's looking for a silver bullet. That's it. Don't do anything. Just fucking sit there and business falls into your lap.
All right. If you're gonna sit down and just be in silence for 20 minutes, if you think that's a good idea, let us know in the comments here. On to topic number 4. Cooper, can you please put this article up here and show?
Great.
This is a phenomenal article written by Mr. Evil Byron Lazine, who I got the opportunity to see this live in person, not once, but twice on 2 separate occasions. And the title of this article is "The Family Team Doesn't Work as a Real Estate Business, and Here is Why." this was not the picture I was talking about. It's a great picture. That is what I was talking about right there. He just looks evil. That is evil Byron Lazine right there. But Byron does go on to make some very valid points. He goes on to suggest, Darth Byron.
He's a shaved head away from being Dr. Evil.
He's going to kill us. He goes on to suggest in the article that the middle level team, the family team, is dead. And I quote, "The family atmosphere doesn't work as a real estate business model. You might think that working out that the family atmosphere will make the agents on your team loyal to the group and that each one of them will make their goals their own, but they each have their own career and their own professional goals to work on. Byron is saying we need to be recruiting the same way that we are out prospecting for deals. Byron is suggesting that the 50-50 partnerships never work out. There needs to be a clear decision maker. And instead of being everybody's friend and family, you need to be the CEO and the leader. If someone goes on to, if 5 to 10 people decide to leave and join some downline from your team, you are in deep trouble for that middle level team of 10 to 12 agents. If you have half the team leave, you're in trouble. So Byron goes on to suggest that middle level team is out. You need to be out recruiting. You need to be a CEO. You need to be a leader. Dustin, how do you feel about Mr. Darth Byron's comments here? And do you agree with him that the middle level team is dead?
I don't know about that, and I never really thought about it much till this article, but it's interesting. It's a very interesting perspective. I think that there's a lot. I mean, there's good and bad to that dynamic, right? Like some people, culture is everything. You have to have culture within your team. If it's just a bunch of individuals with no culture, then it's just a revolving door. Like that's not a good business model either. So you have to have some culture, some stickiness where people feel bought into it. Now, like you can take it a little bit too far, I guess, with like the kumbaya family, thing, I guess. But I think all that matters if you're building a team, culture has to be it has to be top priority. Like the structure and commission splits and all that, that's great and super important for, towards profitability, but no one's going to stay if it's not a culture worth staying at.
Agreed. Lindsey, how do you feel about the middle level team being dead?
So I really disagree with that. So I am on a team. I've been on the same team for 7 years, and it is like a family. I think you can be a family as long as you have the accountability. And the accountability that I have is unreal. Like at 8 p.m. every night, I get a Google sheet of everything that I did. Tuesdays, we listen to, it's just as long as you have the accountability aspect, I think you can absolutely still be, a family. And then you just separate it, right? It's family, but then she's also your boss, right? And they're different, but they still work. So I don't agree.
I love that take. That was going to be my exact take too. I started my team kind of like the family aspect of it, right? And I agree with Byron with what he's saying, because if 5 or 10 people do decide to leave and join a downline or join another brokerage, you are in trouble. And we have seen that multiple times with some very big teams. So I do agree with him there. But again, the family culture, so long as you have that word that you said, Lindsey, accountability, that family atmosphere will still work. But it's for the people that don't have the accountability. When somebody goes and leaves, or if you don't have that value add, like Dustin said, you're in big trouble. Eric, any thoughts on the middle level teams being dead? You heard Byron's speech live in person as well. The family style.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to finish that point. Yes. I heard the speech. I was part of I wouldn't call it a family team because we all hated each other, but I was a part of a team. And there were about 4 or 5 people. It was 3 buyer's agents and 2 agents at the top. There was little to no culture, horrible communication, and it was a revolving door. There was 2 or 3 other buyer's agents for 5 months I was part of that team. And we were just, cold calling, door knocking, sitting open houses. There was no communication. One person is sitting in inspection. The other person's doing a showing. We all were in competition with each other. So I think that's kind of Byron's point with this is just getting a team to get a team that has, 5 or 6 people. You're going to lose those people if you're not establishing that culture, like Lindsey and Dustin said. But I mean, this is kind of just a take to have a take here. I don't really of course, like the comments on Instagram blew up. There's a lot of people saying they disagreed with it. There they're like, why not both? Scalability through continued recruiting while still focusing on strong supporting culture. Just saw a family team in my area. They seem to be doing all right. I mean, that's just whatever. And then someone said, if you're going to have a small team of 8 to 10, then you should always plan on 1 or 2 leaving per year. So yes, always be recruiting. But as far as staying relevant and productivity goes, small teams still work. So I think you could either one. I mean, I think Byron's point was just more, you don't want to have that revolving door of just 5 or 6 agents if you're not in constant communication with them.
Yes,
Right.
and Lisa Chinati always talks about, if you can have somebody on your team or stay with you for longer than a 2-year period, then that is a huge, massive success. For myself and my team, we've been in business now 3 years, and I, for the first time ever, really had somebody like from day one, very close to me, leave, right, and go off and do their own thing. And I was absolutely gutted, right? Like it really affected me in a negative way. But I'm also very blessed and very fortunate that it's been 3 years and I've had 20 people that have stayed, right? So 20 people have stayed and one has left. But even just that one person leaving really had that negative effect on me. And it really kind of does open up your eyes where it's like, wow, if one person left and then kind of started, getting in everybody's ear, I could be a solo agent by tomorrow. So I do agree with Byron. I do agree with those Instagram takes and both of you guys as well.
Then the final point of this article was, I think he was articulating what Tom Toole says, like you go after recruits like you go after listings. And I'm sure, Dustin, you share that that belief as well. And Dan, you do too, probably. And Lindsey, I don't know how often
What does
everybody
that mean exactly?
I think he was saying like your follow-up, as if you were following up with a potential client, should be the way you go after recruits. Like if you're trying to get someone on your team, like you need to be just as focused as if you're trying to get listings or as if you're, sending properties to your buyers, basically. So if you're really trying to grow your team, which I think, Byron and Tom Toole are, that's kind of their focus, or that would be their focus, is just following up as much as possible. Does that make sense, Dustin? I don't know.
Totally. And Tom Toole Tom specifically had an instance in 2018 where I believe half of his team was unfortunately like poached away from another brokerage where they offered them a lot of money. So he went from a team of 40 to having to now rebuild his team back to where it is today. And he talked about that at the Tom Ferry Summit. And I think that's really where it comes from. Like if you're a team leader, or if you have Lindsey for your team leader too, like you got to be actively recruiting. Because if you don't and you stop recruiting and then as people leave, again, you're now a solo agent. And yeah, I share the similar sentiment. I think it is very important. And I think also, I mean, Dustin, with your downline, are you actively recruiting? Are more people coming in to you? Like, is it more inbound, outbound?
Mostly inbound. Honestly, I do a shit job of outbound because I let my content prospect for me and follow up for me. Part of that's lazy, but part of it also works. You attract the right people sometimes when you do that. I mean, if you have a family dynamic within your team or your downline, your rev share group, whatever it is, like I call mine a team because we operate like one. It's harder to leave, right? No matter what, if you are trying to build a team, a version of a team, you run the risk of people leaving it, especially if you have an inferior business model, especially if your business model does not empower agents and it extracts from them. I mean, let's be honest, a lot of the industry is set up to extract from agents, right? To pay all the people up above them versus like having a company or a team at the bottom supporting and empowering the agents. So, I mean, if you're at one of those older, more traditional brokerages and your team is not that supportive and not that empowering, and you won't let someone brand themselves, you won't let someone act like an entrepreneur, you won't let someone, or you won't encourage them to build their own actual business, at some point they're going to be like, fuck this, I need to go somewhere where I have freedom.
Yeah, totally agree. Go ahead, Dan.
Well, I was gonna say, and Lindsey, like I didn't even know that you were on a team.
Yeah. So it's just the two of us. It's just 2 of us. We did 178 units, $69 million last year with 2 of us. So we're not focused on recruiting. She doesn't want anyone else. She's like, if you can handle it and you're happy, she gives me enough value that I feel like I want to stay, So
yeah, it's amazing. And one actionable item that you can take from this, because I stuttered before, so I'm going to make up for it here, is a scholarship program. So one thing that I have learned from the ecosystem and that I have been implementing is a scholarship program in which a lot of people that are coming out of high school and or college we will pay for them to get their license. So we pay for their course. We have them sign something that says that when they finish and get licensed, they now join our new agent program and our team. And that's kind of a way in which we're getting new agents. And listen, not every single person is going to pan out. I think the number is whatever, 85 or 90%, right? Don't make it in the industry. But that's a way to continue to supplement with newer agents while also going out and actively recruiting agents who are doing business that don't really rely on, the resources that you have to offer as much. Eric, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I apologize, my friend.
No, all good. I was just going to echo what Dustin said about the real estate industry extracting from agents with the money going to the higher ups. For a year, I was on this team, and I think every buyer I brought in, which was basically none, I got either 25 or 30% of. Every listing might have been a little bit more, 40% of. And of course, it was like, well, I'm using their name. But all I was doing was sitting there dead open houses. And this is back in 2015, 16, when the market wasn't hot. So literally if a house was sitting, nobody would come to these open houses. Like I would set up signs for an hour. I'd open up this $3.5 million house on Benedict Canyon. And I would sit there for 3 hours and, literally like swipe on Tinder and just like hope that no one would show up, because I knew that nothing would come of it. It was just like, it was
like Inman said, you sat in silence for 3 hours.
I sat in silence for 3 hours. And then, it's an hour to pick up all the signs because you put out 15 of them. And then I brought them back to my boss's house. And I was like, I'm not getting paid a cent for this. And then in the morning, we would cold call from 8 a.m. to noon. And then we would drive and drop off expired listing packages to all the houses that we cold called. And then anytime my bosses wanted, they could call me and say, hey, I have an inspection here. I have a showing here. So I'm basically an unpaid intern with the guise of, okay, if I bring someone in, I'm going to get 30% from these people I'm cold calling from in Beverly Hills. Like it's an insane model. And I, of course, had no loyalty. I was literally a minion.
Yeah.
And I remember one time they wrote me like a check for $200 to thank me for everything that I've done. And I was just like, this is like an $80,000 salary here that should have been for this. Like, this is working Saturdays, Sundays, every single day. Anything they needed, they could call. And I was doing it. So,
and look at you now. Do they know, like, do they see you? Have you ran into those people?
Yeah. I mean, look, they're really good agents. It was just like, they were just starting a team, and our brokerage would kind of position the younger agents, and they're like, oh, you'd be a good fit here. So, I think it wasn't necessarily their fault, because they thought like, oh, this is great. Eric has the opportunity to work for this incredible team, because they were doing, hundreds of millions of dollars. So,
right.
But I was getting no exposure. Like I couldn't even build my own business when I'm just running around.
Yeah. All right.
I feel like,
yeah, the brokerage matters.
Yeah.
The brokerage you're with matters, because it's the vehicle that you're in. And if you're in a certain vehicle that cannot get you to your goal, like if you want time freedom, if you want, certain leverage, if you want certain income, sometimes the vehicle you're in will not get you there. It can't. It mathematically cannot. So, where you're at matters, and who you're teamed up with matters. Are you partnered with people, or are you an employee of people? It makes a big difference. And look, not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur in real estate. I get that. I do. I got into real estate to have time freedom, to do whatever the fuck I wanted, and to have infinite scalable income that wasn't tied to the amount of work that I personally do. I wanted a business. Yeah. But there are others that they just want a secure job kind of thing, where they come in, leads are already there in their CRM. They follow up on the leads. They clock out at 5. And that's cool too. You just have to know who you are and what you want, what's important to you, and make sure you're in the right place that can allow it to happen.
And what's interesting too, and we're now going on a little bit long here. I was going to end it, but this just came to my brain. Byron said that like the 50-50 partnership is like dead. Like that's a horrible model, right? You need to have somebody that has the final say. I kind of wish that I had a partner. Like I kind of wish I had somebody that I could bounce things off of and like, get advice from, or like make the decision together, because sometimes I'm not sure if I'm making the right decision, or sometimes I might be thinking, irrationally or out of emotion. So sometimes I kind of wish I had that like 50-50 partner where I could bounce things off of, like Eric, you're now in a partnership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we have a very, ways, though. Yeah, we have like a strict delegation of who does have decision making in certain instances, whether it's business or content or hiring or firing or something like that. So, Byron, to his point, was, we discussed this at the very beginning. and it's made everything extremely clear and a very smooth partnership. So,
yeah,
I mean, it just depends what you do when you form it. If you form it, and I was in a partnership with the broke agent, by the way, when this first started in 2015, I started this with, and it was a partnership that didn't work out because there was no delegation. It was just like, okay, we're partners, but one person's doing more, one person's doing less, one person's going in a different direction. Like there's just so many different, you know, you get it.
All right. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. Lindsey, thank you. Dustin, any final thoughts, any final words? Where can we find you guys?
Lindsey?
You can find me on Instagram, Lindsey, 3Ys_Joe.
Check out Lindsey's videos. They are
A
hilarious. And she has a rap video coming out this month that's going to crush. She is sent me a really nice text last night. She is pulling in an enormous amount of business from these viral videos. So definitely go check out Lindsey.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Dustin, where can we find you?
Massive Agent on social media. Massive Agent podcast. Easy to find.
Easy to find because you have the largest biceps, like I said, in real estate. All right, and Eric, happy birthday.
I don't know if that's true, but I'll take it.
That is for sure true. Eric, happy birthday, happy wedding week.
Thank you.
Mazel tov. You are becoming a man this week. Very excited for you.
Finally.
Thank you all if you made it this far. Thank you all for listening. Great episode. Thank you guys for coming. That is it. See you next week.